Okay, so let's get stuck into Carrie's story. So Carrie is an interior designer based in Edinburgh, Scotland. And when she came into the program, she was still predominantly a face-to-face interior designer. What's been great and amazing about her transformation is that she shifted her business model predominantly online. That means that she sells what she knows and her expertise to people not just in her city, in her immediate country, but in Europe and the UK as well. Because she now sells her expertise in the format of digital consultation, she now is able to increase her customer pool to pretty much anyone in the Western world. So, since working together, Carrie has been able to not only double her fees, but transition to this online model and consistently generate opportunities and sales calls, not only through Facebook groups, which we'll show you how to do later in this program, but with paid traffic as well. So let's get stuck into Carrie's story. Cool.
Great.
So yeah, let's start by obviously introducing and welcoming Carrie. And feel free to just introduce yourself, Carrie, and tell us a bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Carrie Cotton, and I'm an interior designer in Edinburgh, but from America. I moved here about 3 years ago and started my business almost 2 years ago, and started working with Patrick, I guess, 6 months ago.
That sounds
Um,
about right. Yeah.
yeah, so I guess I've been in business a little over a year. Um, yeah.
Cool. So take me through kind of where you were in your design business to come into profitable designer. Where was it at? Where were the major kind of gray areas that you had that you wanted to sharpen up on?
So for me, I set up three services thinking I could kind of catch everyone within one of those three services. And I was doing actually quite well in terms of I was fully booked with my time, and what I was generating in terms of revenue, I thought was really good my first year. But I was running myself completely into the ground, and I knew it wasn't, I knew something big had to change. So I had to go one direction or the other with my business. And after speaking with Patrick, he helped me realize that I did have a service that was a little bit more unique. And with some of his expertise and going through his program, I could turn it into something that could generate more revenue with less time, but still keep my clients really happy. So after initial conversation with Patrick, I thought, yep, that's a good direction. That's where I want to go. And I haven't looked back.
Nice. It'd be good for you to kind of shed some light. So you were fundamentally a traditional interior designer who kind of even pre-COVID were like, I want to push to more of an online consultative model. So you had already had that idea, pre all of this craziness, but I suppose where did you feel like the big challenges were for you to make that shift from being a, face-to-face interior designer to selling what you knew online, I suppose?
I think it's probably a bunch of things, but the biggest shift for me was if I wanted to stay face to face with my clients and manage their projects. So more traditional interior design, like most of us, went to school and learned, I think. I would have needed to hire a space. So I needed to hire rent a shop. I would have needed to hire a couple people to help. And it just would have taken my business into something a lot different than I wanted, a lot more headache, I think, and problems, when I knew that I could actually hold my client's hand and get to them to the exact same results as I could if I was actually there in person overseeing it. So that's just, the direction I wanted to go was more helping them get to their end result without having to really create something much bigger than I ever wanted to create in terms of staff and shop space.
Nice. Yeah, it's a lot of people like that was like the major reason for me moving away from brick and mortar models as well, is that A, flexibility, but B, you're kind of limited to just people in your space. And now you have been getting people from different areas, haven't you? You've even got somebody from Norwich, which is where I'm currently
Couple
at,
people, yeah.
and in London as well. Okay, Carrie, would you be able to take us through like your experience in the actual program itself? So like in regards to what have you found going through the training modules? How have you used like the coaching calls and the group, etc.?
So what I loved about going through the program was, unlike some other coaching programs that I've been a part of, Patrick really breaks it, or you really break it down into exact step-by-step things that you need to do. I mean, even like figuring out the technology side of it, and just what's going to happen when you do it. But mostly just that it was a step-by-step plan that I could follow and see results. Whereas it wasn't go create a mail list, a mailing list, or go create a landing page. It was like, here's exactly what you need to create the landing page, and here's exactly what you should be putting into it. And I think that that is what made me follow this program and have success with it, because I just got a really solid step-by-step plan of exactly what to do. It doesn't mean you don't have to do the work, but you give every tool you need to actually execute the plan.
Cool.
And then the calls, the other thing. So that's just going through the modules, which is just there and you can go through it on your own time. But the calls, hopping onto the calls and being able to ask questions to you directly is huge, because even though you give everything step by step, it's just nice to get some clarity on stuff that relates directly to your own business and what you're trying to achieve. And obviously, every time I'm on the call, you do hear about other people and what they're working on. You think, oh, that's a good idea. I might try that for my business. Or, you know what, let me try that down the road. So just hearing what other people are doing as well.
Nice. What's been the biggest aha moment that you've had? Like where maybe a belief that you had pre coming into the program has been reversed and changed the way that you thought?
I guess it would be the fact that I probably won't have to. I guess the biggest aha moment would be when my Google ads started working, because that basically means that's something that you set up and you don't really have to tweak or do anything to, and it just works. So once you get it working, it just works. And that means you don't have to spend time on all these different social media platforms, trying to sell services and trying to come up with something unique and giving away all this free info all the time, hoping that one person out there will give you a call. It's just something that's just out there and it works, and it frees up a lot of your other time to, source out other revenues for bringing other, areas to bring in, additional revenue, or just working with your clients. Or honestly, the last couple months, I feel like I've been working part-time in a way because calls are just coming into me and I'm booking services and finishing them, relatively quickly. And I have this, this time on my hands. So I think it's the when the Google ads started working. Nice. It's probably the biggest aha moment. Like, okay, wow, now I can really do some stuff.
So like the fact that the business can move forward even when you're not physically doing stuff.
Exactly. So yeah, I have to say the last couple months I've been working on my own home quite a bit, and I've been a bit lazy with my business in a way where I've just let the Google ads do the work, and I'm still doing fine. So now I'm going to change that in January. Yeah, my new plan. But yeah, even being lazy, it's still generating revenue.
Nice. So that probably ties pretty well into the next question. But yeah, what kind of results have you seen in implementing the thinking and the strategies?
The results have just been, everyone I talked to since implementing the strategies, they said, I really liked what you said in your video. I really liked what you said in this email. I really liked what you said in whatever. So people are coming to me and they're already saying, I really like that you've said this. This is the problem I have. And can you help me? And it's just they're already coming to me, with the problem that I've suggested that they have. So it's just such an easier conversation. They already know what I'm going to help them with, and they're already interested in that. So I think it's like they've been sold before they've been sold. It's really nice.
Got it.
And it's just such a nice conversation to have too. Instead of someone calling you and saying, kind of, tell me what you do, they're calling me and they're saying, I watched your video and I love this part of it. And I just think that's great. Now I can kind of run with that.
Do you feel like the shift in the marketing and sales process is really now that when you're speaking to someone, it's really just about qualifying and getting to know their situation instead of how do I pitch and sell and close them?
That's exactly it. It's
Yeah.
just, it's really, really easy to have that conversation because they tell me exactly what problem they're having up front based on something that I've already suggested to them as something that I can solve for them. And then we just kind of talk about the specifics, like how many rooms they want it in, where they want to start. And it just kind of feels like, it just feels like I have, I don't want to say the upper hand, but it just feels like I'm controlling the conversation. And, at the end of the call, I'm sending them exactly what they need to kind of move forward. It's just a really, it's a solid, easy process that I don't have to rethink about everything every time I get a new client with a different situation coming to me. I just have this solid process that just works.
Nice. You give nice deep answers, which is probably again leads nicely
I'm
into
just
the
babbling
into the
now.
next question because it's kind of already semi-answered. But how has it changed the way that you look at your business moving forwards?
I just feel really excited moving forward. I just before obviously we started, this interview chat, I was just saying that I have an email system or an email sequence that I'm going to roll out in January that I'm just excited about because it's again another way to bring more people, more calls my way, more potential clients my way. And I wrote them out with, using things that I know are already bringing potential clients to me. So it's not like I just sit there and think, oh, what should I say? I just went to my video that's already working and pulled content out of there. And I went to the ebook I wrote and pulled content out of there. So it's just having what works, what resonates with your particular client and being able to pull that information out and then add another, way to bring that client to you. So what was the question again?
I
What
forgot
am
it,
I
to be
doing
honest.
next?
I'm gonna have to look at it again. Yeah, how has it changed the way that you look at your business moving forward?
Yeah, so the way I look at my business is I can just keep, when I'm ready, add in a new opportunity to bring clients through my door without having to, again, reinvent the wheel or try and do something brand new or really even stretch myself that much.
Nice. Cool. Well, yeah, thank you so much for your time, Carrie. And we'll
Yeah, I
speak again.
hope that was helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.